Ready? Good afternoon, everybody. We've pledged Pledge of Allegiance here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Everybody greet your neighbors today. Today, our invocation is given by Mr. Doug Druschel.
Thank you, Pastor President. You know, Justin's a little harder to deal with than Terry. I was trying to help Justin with some writing recently. I said, Justin, how do you spell orange? He said, the fruit or the color? The Olympic truce is a tradition originating from ancient Greece that dates back to 776 BC. A truce was announced before and during the Olympic Games to ensure the host city-state was not attacked and athletes and spectators could travel safely to the games and peacefully return to their countries. In 1992, the International Olympic Committee renewed this tradition by calling on all nations to observe the truce during the modern games. In light of that, Pope Benedict, in the 2012 Olympics, penned this simple prayer. Let us pray that in accordance with God's will, that the Olympic Games will be a true experience of brotherhood among all the earth's people. I pray that in spirit of the Olympic truce, the goodwill generated by this international sporting event may bear fruit, promoting peace and reconciliation throughout the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that, man. A little humor on a Monday. Not bad, pretty weak, but not bad. So we need continued prayers here at the podium. And I was told that it has to happen today. So we've got two hardworking ladies here that are going to put some pressure on you, because guess what? Next Monday is Meals with a Mission. It's hard to believe that it's a week away. So I've got a couple of reminders here. So be it that Meals with a Mission is tomorrow or next Monday, easy for me to say, we will not have a new meeting. So by a show of hands, and be honest, who has bought their tickets? Oh my gosh, that's good participation. Come on, Yost, what's going on, man? Huh? I bought my tickets this morning. Robin, Greg Long sent out the note of all the board members who haven't bought, so I bought tickets today. And Seth Walter, come on, man. I saw that you didn't have any tickets bought. You'll have an opportunity to buy them right from Robin here real short, okay? So Robin and Courtney they'll be going around the room, because I know at the end of the meeting you guys have to leave right away. But if you have not got your tickets, all kidding aside, make sure you get those in. We want to try to make sure this is a good turnout for us. It's one of our main fundraisers. A couple ways you can buy them is A, from Robin and Courtney today, or you can say how many you want. They can be invoiced. Greg, isn't that right? We'll invoice you for those. So if you don't have cash or a check, no big deal. Just let them know how many you need. Also, if you bought them online this year, ladies, nice setup, nice system, extremely easy. So there's two options for you. But again, next Monday, August 16th, we hope that you can participate and support us as we are down at TJ's. What time is that, Courtney? What time is the event next week? 4 to 8. 4 to 8. We've got some cool door prizes. One featured by the Wooster Brush Company, right? Check this thing out. You got everything here. You got the famous shortcut. You've got the Pelican pail. You've got a towel in here. It looks like a shirt in here. All sorts of good stuff. So thank you, Wooster Brush, for donating this. We've also have some Indians tickets. I know, or Guardians tickets, however you want to look at it. Let's get used to that. Greg, you're not used to that? No Guardians? All right, just Indians tickets. Go Tribe. And then the third thing is that we've got a Rick Hinder knife, which is a pretty unique piece that he donated to us. So if you see Greg, the team from Wooster Brush, and then also Rick Hinder, make sure you say thank you for their donation to our event next week. Okay, so that's Greg, how'd I do on pushing? Is that pretty good? Okay, Steve and Beth will also be at the lobby. So if you are able to avoid Courtney and Robin, good luck trying to get past Webby. You got him, bud. 120, we're at 400. So that's where the continued prayers for we're at 120 sold. And I've got a note up here. My good friend Merle Stutzman, you are a winner today of $10. Let's see, $10 to Sure House. You know why? Because you bought 13 tickets, my man. 14 tickets. Merle, thank you. Make sure I get this to you. If not, I'll be drinking coffee, buddy. What other announcements do we have? Let's go through these. Hey, how about the Olympics? Pretty cool, right? And go ahead, Robin and Courtney, help yourself. Go around and talk to people. We're in. These are a couple of the snapshots just from the last week and a half, 2 weeks of the Olympics. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Just a couple of the shots of the games. They were pretty cool this year. And again, hopefully you were able to watch those. Our computer's running a little slow today, right, Cheryl? I think we got like a Pentium 1 in this baby. This thing is rocking and rolling. Yeah, that kind of looks like me, my physique. So did anybody see this? That the young lady fell down on the 1500 and then just sprinted by everybody and still won. That was pretty cool. So watch that on YouTube. And then look at that, the USA, baby. USA 113 total medals. And we just inched out China for the most gold. So pretty good Olympic Games. And again, hopefully you enjoyed those with your family and watching those in a difficult year in Tokyo. We won't belabor this. Obviously, Meals with a Mission, very, very important. Make sure that you get that in. Oh, what is this slide? That's weird. Okay, this is in honor of Terry Snoddy. So in this day in Worcester Rotary history, Terry Snoddy missed his second of his first 7 meetings. So we'll just note that, okay? That was just a random one I put in there, a little zinger. Love you, Terry. Worcester Weekly News, for those who were able to put that together, Lynn, Greg, Terry, a number of contributors. If you get the Worcester Weekly News at your house, if you don't, make sure you pick it up around town. The cover this week rather, is about Worcester Rotary, and it's about our 100th anniversary. And then also just the service that we provide throughout the community, not only historically, but some of the exciting things that we have coming up. So make sure you get a copy of that. That is in the publication for August 7th, which is tomorrow. So this is a snapshot of it. Oh, actually, I guess the 7th was Saturday. I had a heck of a weekend, by the way. So it's just, we won't talk about that one. I do want to hit on this, and here's why. In 5 weeks, folks, I'm really proud that your executive committee and the board have really been pushing to get this project underway. We've talked about putting up the largest flagpole and flag in the state of Ohio at the fairgrounds, and it does look like that is going to come to fruition. So the cool thing is you'll get details, because we're running like crazy right now, and here's why. I do want to be transparent. We did a lot of soil borings at the site to make sure that the underground for this thing, that it wasn't too massive. And if it was too massive, the project was dead. It came back, and this site is actually very conducive for us installing the flagpole. So it does look like we're going to be able to move forward with that. 80% of the work is being done by a contractor out of the Michigan area, and we're leaning on some of our Rotarians and our members for some in-kind donations. You'll be receiving a formal donation request for not for the purchase of, because that was funded through our 100th anniversary funds, but for the ongoing maintenance and repair and replacement of the flag. So you'll be seeing a solicitation by Sandra Hall. This is right where it's going. Sandra Hall and Greg as well. And here's a couple of the pieces we put together. The goal on this, and it's fast, the goal on this, folks, is to commission the flag, to have it installed at the latter part of August, which is a couple weeks away. and for us to commission a flag at the opening day of the Wayne County Fair this year. Okay. Why do we want to hit that? A, there's a formal flag raising, and second off, it's obviously a partnership with the fair. They're giving us a location. But if you look at Saturday, the opening day, it's 9/11. So it'll be the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We think it's just a very special time for us to try to commission the flag. So hats off to those who have ran around and put this thing together. Again, there is the opportunity for donations. Here's a sample of the plaque that will be going in front of the flag. This is just a rendition, so any of the words, don't take those for what they are. So, what other announcements do I have here today? Am I missing anything? Yeah. Oh, actually, we'll kick it to you here. 1 second, Ron. Anything from the group that we need here? If not, I'm going to have Secretary Lynn come up with the secretary's report real quick.
Justin, just wanted to make sure I earned my lunch. There are no guests, but past President Ron Holtman will be giving us a summary and announcement regarding the tree project.
Doug, the sequel to your joke, I remember from 3rd grade, which is rounder, an orange? Mine was even worse than yours. I'm here on behalf of the design committee of the Oak Hill Park project. Just want to give you a quick update and announce again for those on the committee, we're going to have a very brief meeting right up here at this table after the meeting. As all of you should know, the trees have been successfully transplanted from the Arboretum to Oak Hill Park. There are 3 near the park entrance on the north side of the drive. Then there are 24 more that are on the north side of the trail. To get to that area, when you leave the pavilion, if you turn right onto the walking trail and go counterclockwise, you'll run into those trees, which we have tentatively designated the Founders Grove. You'll recognize those because the city has mowed around them. There are water bags around each tree, and they've been staked to keep them upright until they're firmly established. The city has also mowed across the trail an area that we will use to design sort of a focal point for the whole project. I encourage you to get a sense of the project if you haven't been out there, to walk the trail, look on the north side at the Founders Grove, and then on the south side at the area that's mowed where part of the project will take place. If you would like a topographical map to take with you, see me after the meeting. I have a few that I can give you. The design committee is working with a landscape architect that Jim Webster connected us with. We're also using ATI Landscape Club. You recall Dr. Dieter, who spoke here a few weeks ago. She is the advisor for that club, and they're going to be providing us some design ideas for the central core piece. We're also coordinating closely with Davey Tree on various matters related to the project. And you remember just last week, Sandy Reed was here, a friend of Lynn's, and she has been very helpful in connecting us with the appropriate folks at Davey Tree. Now, here's the exciting part. The city is providing mulch for the Founders Grove trees, and we, Rotarians, have the honor of spreading it. So we're going to have a work day or work nights or whatever works. And we would like your assistance, and you can bring your relatives, your neighbors, anybody you would like. There are 27 trees that have to be mulched. The city will provide the mulch and the implements the wheelbarrows, rakes, and other tools that we'll need. If you're interested in participating in this work day, I've got a sign-up sheet with me. Stop by this table after the meeting and give me your contact information and some ideas of when you'd be willing to work. I know some of you actually have real jobs, unlike the rest of us. And so maybe during the week isn't a great time, but perhaps you'd be available on the weekends. We're also looking for a grant writer, someone who has experience in writing grants. If you're that person, you can get out of raking mulch by agreeing to submit some grants. We have a couple of good leads on grants, and I think that would be helpful for the project. So committee will meet up here after this meeting. If you have any questions, see me. I'd like the members of the committee to just stand so everyone knows who they are, so you can complain to them if you have any problems. Come on, don't be shy. See? Good. Thank you.
61. You sold? Not bad, 61. Perfect. So now we're at what? We're over 200. Okay, so we still sell 200 more. Okay, we're on track. Come on, Greg. Ron, thank you for your announcement, and thank you for your leadership in that. I know that this is a project that has really grown legs and is going to be a great addition, not only to the park, but a memorial to our founders, and then also just nice to have the Rotary wheel out there in a visible spot. So thank you. Today we have 3 classification talks. They're each going to not go over 10 minutes, right? Or sets you out. That'll work. And we've got 3 exciting people to introduce you. I know that you've seen some of these faces. Some have been here longer than others, but we're going to start things off, and it was just by chance. Mariah, you're up first. Okay, so Mariah Hinton is one of our newest members, and she's going to give her classification talk.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mariah Hinton with Equus Law Firm. I don't have notes or slides, so if that's all I remember to say, at least the important information is conveyed. So I work at Equus Law Firm. We were actually founded as White Law Office about 11 years ago in Holmes County by Tom and Chris White, but their original plan was it to just be the 2 of them. And I, for one, am thankful that that plan did not stay in place. We just changed it to 9 attorneys. And we have several different office locations. Wooster is the newest, one of the newest ones. We started here in January. So Equus, as far as the name change, was in parts to reflect just the changing nature of our firm as we're growing, and it's not just the original partners, but also a chess piece has been our logo since the foundation of the firm. Just being able to convey that chess piece can move all over the board. Our law firm is really focused on being able to provide innovative legal solutions for people working together to meet their needs in a way that they need. And so that just kind of conveys what we're trying to do there. As far as me personally, I work with adoptions often, and somebody once jokingly referred to it as the one part of law where people are all happy with you when you're done, and that is generally the case. So I love doing that. I also work a lot in the transactional section with some business law, property law, kind of a mixture, and some oil and gas law. We have Southeastern Ohio offices that I partner with from the landowner representation side of things. So that's kind of what I do there. As far as me individually, I grew up south of Shreve in Holmes County most of my life. I spent a good time in Wooster as well. So this always feels like home to me. I did go to law school at Regent University School of Law in Virginia Beach. And yes, sometimes I miss the milder winters, but I do not miss the traffic. So during that time, I realized that rural Ohio was really where I was meant to be. And I've loved being able to come back, graduated in 2018, and I've been here with Equus since then. So just recently got married in the fall, and my husband and I moved to the Smithville area. And that's basically when it started to look like we could open up a satellite office in Worcester. which we did in January. And right now I'm located above the Sherwin-Williams on East Liberty Street. Part of the office is known as a gathering place. So that's been a really good satellite place for us to kind of connect with the area, see how things go here, and provides me not having to drive 40 minutes down to Berlin every day or having to work from home. So it's been a great blessing to be here and just excited to be more involved with the area. My husband's a machine shop owner and we have one cat. So I was telling somebody that I could have made that my PowerPoint, just my cat, but probably wouldn't be the most entertaining thing for most people. So yeah, I really wanted to join an organization that I thought was not only really involved with the community, but also had a national impact and not involved just with networking, which we all know is important, but also, you know, making a community impact in the area. So from what I've seen already, this organization is definitely that. I'm excited to learn more about each one of you and meet more of you for my time. Thank you all.
Ms. Donna, are you ready? All right, Donna Conley. That's our second of 3 today. We'll end with you.
Okay, I also do not have PowerPoint or fancy slides, so, but I did have some notes. So, my husband Ted and I moved to Wooster last summer from Evergreen, Colorado, where we had lived for over 20 years. And who moves across the country during a pandemic? Well, we'd been planning this for over a year. We knew that we needed to leave Colorado. We really loved our home there, but it was off the beaten path up a winding, steep, unpaved mountain road. We had amazing views, but the winters were hard. And as we got older, we realized we need to move back closer to family. And we're both native Buckeyes. I grew up in Garfield Heights and Ted's from Ashland. We still have lots of extended family in Ohio. And we chose to live in Wooster because our daughter and son-in-law, Karen and Mark Weiss, live here. And we have a son, Theo, who's not too far away in State College, Pennsylvania. I've been a Rotarian since 1999. I transferred my membership from the Rotary Club of Lakewood Foothills, Colorado, which is a much smaller club with only about 30 members. So during my time with that club, I've held several different offices. I've been program chair, secretary, treasurer, and I was club president in the year 2014-15. And I've also was active on the district level as a member of the district visioning team. I'm a really strong supporter of Rotary, the Rotary Foundation. I have multiple Paul Harris Fellows, and I'm actually at the major donor level. And I've attended 2 international conventions in 2018 in Toronto and Hamburg in 2019. And I have to say, it's just an amazing experience. If you have never been to an international convention, the virtual ones for the last 2 years just don't compare. There's just so much energy. We have like 20,000 plus Rotarians in the same room, and they always have just excellent speakers. They're very dynamic and they're always relevant to what's going on currently. And I think in 2022, I think it's going to be in Houston, do you know? And then a year after that in Warsaw, which would be interesting to attend. So back in the 80s, before women could join, and we were just Rotarians, Ted was a Rotarian until his job required extensive travel and he just couldn't keep up with it. But during that time, we hosted a number of exchange students, which was a really great experience for our family because we had kids at home then, and it was great having these students in our home. We visited a couple of them in their countries, and we still keep in touch with some of them. And so, 2 weeks ago, I was really interested to hear the program of this club's students that were outbound. So if you have an opportunity when the inbound program resumes to host a student, I would say go for it. It's a great time for your family, especially if you have young kids at home. So as I said, I'm a native Ohioan. I'm the oldest of 3 sisters. Our family had a small summer cabin, which actually it's still in the family, on T. Cruz Creek in Glen Willow. And We spent our summers there. It was a very rustic cabin. We had no indoor plumbing, but we thought it was great when we were kids. We swam in the water, which is probably polluted back then even, but and you know, climbed trees, ran around in the woods and all that. They started college at Ohio State in 1962, which is where I met Ted. And we got married while we were still in college, and I dropped out to do the mommy thing. So I spent a lot of years, you know, with Girl Scouts, driving kids to sports practices and all of that stuff. And then during those years, Ted and I became part owners of an off-campus college bookstore that served Penn State University. And so I worked there part-time doing some bookkeeping and helping out on the busy football weekends. And you know, having a flexible schedule so I could still run around with the kids' activities. And after the kids were grown, we sold our interest in that store, and Ted took a job with a college wholesale textbook company. And I thought, well, what can I do? I have bookstore experience. I'm going to go apply at the on-campus bookstore. And so I did that. I started in the accounting office, and then I became eventually accounts payable supervisor. But during that time, because I was a university employee, I got a discount on tuition, so I was able to go back and finish my degree, taking a couple classes every semester, and eventually got a Bachelor of Science in Management Information Systems. But I really don't like computers, so. But during that time at Penn State, the bookstore operation was leased to Barnes & Noble. Now, a lot of people don't know that Barnes & Noble actually operates college bookstores at a lot of stores throughout the country. And so I was able to then become a manager of one of the branch campus bookstores at Harrisburg, which was an interesting campus. It was all junior, seniors, and grad students. And I forget where I'm going here. But when we were in our 40s, Ted and I learned to ski. I'm still a very fearful skier. Actually, I haven't skied for years. But we go out to Colorado a lot to ski, and we decided that if the job opportunity ever came up, that we would move. And of course, his job is just traveling mostly. So as long as he had access to an airport, he was fine. So I heard about a job opening at Red Rocks Community College bookstore. And so I was hired to fill that position. And then in 2001, the company that operated that bookstore was having some financial difficulty and failing. And actually, Ted worked for a different division of that same company. And so those were kind of scary times for us because we weren't sure either one of us was going to have a job. But it turned out that Ted easily found another job. And Barnes & Noble was chosen to operate that college bookstore. So for me, it was like, you know, coming back to family and working with Barnes & Noble. And they are a good company to work for. So I retired in 2013. I miss all my colleagues on campus, and I miss my fellow bookstore managers. But I don't really miss the work. It's a stressful job, long hours and weekends. And a lot of things are changing in the industry. When I left, there were digital books, there were rental books, there was integrated course content, and so just a lot of challenges. It's a good time for me to leave. So we're getting settled here in our home in Wooster. We're enjoying living near our family. Our oldest grandson, Luke, is a CPA with EY. He's been working from home now for the last year, and they're opening up their New York City offices, so he's going to be leaving at the end of the month. And our younger grandson, Ben, is a senior at Ohio U. And he was home for a while doing online classes, but he's moved back to campus just because you want to live with the guys in the house, right? So as things start to open up, I hope to get more involved with local organizations. In Colorado, I was a member of the AUW, and I served in several board positions there and a book group. And I joined the Wooster AUW, and I've joined their book group. And last month, we got to meet in person for the very first time. So I'm starting to get to know people there. Ted and I both love classical music, opera, ballet, and we supported those organizations in Colorado, and we hope to do that here in Ohio as well. In fact, I volunteered recently with Friends of Blossom to work in their information booth, which was kind of fun, even though I knew nothing, so I had no information to impart to anyone. But so there's not too much more to tell about me. 5 years ago, I started taking piano lessons, and I was a true beginner. I didn't even read music, so they're not going to invite me to play at Carnegie Hall anytime soon, but I enjoy playing just for myself. It's fun, and it's a challenge for my aging brain. And I love to swim, as Gwen knows. I'm at the YMCA pool 3 or 4 mornings a week in a water aerobics class or just swimming laps. And we like to travel, so we're really hoping things open up and we can travel internationally again, because we really miss doing that. So it's great being in Worcester and being a member of this club, and I really hope to get to know more of you as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Interesting. We got, this guy's been around for a little bit. Reinhardt, you come on up here. I know you presented to us back in, I'm gonna say November. Okay, yeah, so presentation went so well, you joined Rotary, so. But classification talk from Reinhardt.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that invitation, and I'm so glad to be part of this community. It's a wonderful way to get involved more in the Wooster area where we've just moved 7 years ago. But I'm going to start a little bit from now and go backwards in my story. You probably wonder, what's this guy with a first name that sounds like a last name in a German accent? What's he actually doing? Well, what I do is I help business leaders to be more successful. And a lot of them are successful, but would like to be more successful, but without sacrificing their health or losing their family, which unfortunately at the altar of their career, so many people have done in the past and currently still do. So I have to figure out how to move to the next slide now. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. So what is it that we want typically? Most of us, we want to be successful in business. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in business. We want to be good providers for our families. But we also want to have good health and well-being, because we all know without it, it's not worthwhile, is it? A good friend of mine passed away last year at the age of 58 due to diabetes. And that's not something that we want, even though he was extremely successful business-wise. But we also want to enjoy our families, and we want to have time for them. And because we work so hard for them, we also want to take good care of them and enjoy them. And as you as Rotarians, of course, know this as well. You want to make a difference. And so that's what I'm here to help people to do all of that, more of that. And it's possible, but it can be frustrating. You're not alone. Maybe you've struggled with some of this, because we own a business to provide for our family, and then our families want more of us. Sometimes I remember my kids, wished they could have seen more of Dad. There was one quarter in my corporate career in the automotive industry, I was traveling overseas 3 times in one quarter. Trip to Australia, trip to China, trip to Europe, and it was just a lot. And my kids missed being with me. And the balance is often hard to find, isn't it? So it can be tough. And so I experienced that as well when I transitioned away from the corporate world and started my own business. That was even more challenging at times. But I actually hired a coach, and that helped me tremendously. And that actually motivated me to get into coaching myself. But part of my coaching is sharing a story of what happened to me about 30 years ago. And I actually published a book last year, which I have on each of the table. There's a book, and there's also the audio version of it. Imagine I'm practicing approach to landing stalls over Simi Valley at 2,500 feet above the ground. I was well prepared for that. I trained many times, but this was my 3rd solo flight. This time I was doing it all alone. I was practicing this stall. I got the plane to a stall speed and expected for the nose to drop. But what happened? The left wing dropped before the right wing dropped. and I got into what's called a graveyard spiral. I thought these were going to be the last few seconds of my life. My heart sank. I had no idea what to do because this was not part of private pilot training to recover from a graveyard spiral. The earth was turning like a disc in front of me. The altimeter showed the very rapid descent of the plane. I was thinking, should I call the tower, ask them what to do? I thought, no, this is a matter of life and death that has to be resolved within the next few seconds. So after I dropped about 1,000 feet and came out at about 1,500 feet above the ground, or was at about 1,500 feet above the ground, realizing that if I held on to the controls, I would run myself right into the ground. I let go of all the controls and said, God, take this plane. And instantly, I came out into straight and level flight. It was a miracle. I pushed the throttle down and went to gain altitude, went back to the airport, put that plane down. I didn't care soft or hard. I wanted to have solid feet in the ground. Now, why am I sharing this story? Because over the years, as I have shared the story, many people have told me that there are things in their lives that they need to let go of. And some of the things that we need to let go of because they are holding us back are some of the things that you may recognize. Now, not letting go of things that are holding us back is like keeping your foot on the brake. And so as a coach, as a certified high performance coach, what I coach my clients through is say, okay, you need to take your foot off the brake before we can step on the gas and apply the high performance habits. So look at this chart and think about what you may want to let go in your life. And in the book, each of the chapters is dedicated to one of those topics. And there's coaching style questions at the end where you can really think about it and see what you could do to let go of something that is holding you back. Who do you rather want to be? With which guy do you want to spend more time? The guy on the left or the guy on the right? It's a big part of it. If we don't let go of certain things, we're not going to carry a lot of positive energy with us. We have low energy. But part of my job is to coach people and to get into mindsets that lead them to have higher levels of energy. You know, there's all these things that that are slowing people down, that are draining their energy. And then there's things that are actually lifting up their energy. And so that's what I'm trying to help my clients as well. Alrighty, now the high performance habits that I was talking about, they are based on extensive research done by the High Performance Institute, led by Brendon Burchard, who's the world's top coach now. He's coaching Fortune 50 CEOs and billionaires. He's really good, but his coaching is based, or the coaching process is based on these habits that are strongly correlated to high performance. As being high performance, meaning you do well in your business, you're very successful in your field, whatever that may be, but you are also have good relationships and you have good well-being, good health. So the first one is seeking clarity, to be clear as to who you want to be, what your goals are, and those types of things, to be really clear about that. Then to generate energy, physical energy, good health, mental energy, emotional energy, and spiritual energy. And as you know, they all go together. They're all linked together. And then to demonstrate courage. And all the leaders here, I want to encourage also, not only be courageous, but encourage courage with your teams of the people that you're working with. Increase productivity or effectiveness and develop influence and impact. Who could you be a good role model for, if you can give that some thought? A couple of testimonials. Vinny, one of my first clients, he said, Reinhardt's coaching has moved my life in a new direction. I'm getting more done, feel much better with stress, got healthier, and improved my relationships. I cannot put a price tag on the value this has added to my life. And Taylor, here in Ohio, she said, coaching with Reinhardt has helped me to grow into my new leadership role at work much faster, resulting in opportunities I could only dream of before. I'm getting much better results from meetings with employees. They are so much more engaged now. So this was about my work that I do Then briefly about my family. My family of 24 years, the Tiger Mom who homeschooled our two kids, David and Daniel. David is a computer engineer working for Smartverse, very happy there. And Daniel is a biology major, pre-med. He's transitioning now this fall from Akron University to the University of Toronto, which is my wife's alma mater. This is how it all began. Back in Germany, I was born one of 6 kids. The guy with a pointing finger, that's me. And behind him is my twin brother. And so I was born and raised and went to school, to the military and everything in Germany. And then basically since 97, I've been in the United States permanently and a citizen since 2009. So that was me. I told you a little bit about traveling the world in the corporate world, worked for the automotive industry and projects on all 5 continents and worked and lived in 3 countries. And during that time, I had the opportunity to meet people from all different cultural backgrounds, as well as getting to know many, many different corporate cultures and realizing how much the corporate culture has an impact, not only on the happiness and health of the people, but also on the productivity and the bottom line. So I transitioned, as I said, out of the corporate world. First, I started as a real estate investor, but then I hired a coach, and I enjoyed the coaching so much that I wanted to share that with other fellow business owners and executives as well. So I'm coming to a close here. I have a fundraiser because I worked as a mentor, as a volunteer mentor for OHUDL, mentoring high school students here in Wooster, and I'm selling my book. The paperback and the CD is for $15, and it all goes to OHUDL, all the proceeds. I cover the production cost. So if you're interested in wanting to get the book or the CD, let me know and just come to me and see me. And this is my information, this is my contact information, and I also left business cards on the table. So you can contact me and hopefully we can talk and chat a little bit so you can find out more about what I'm doing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate to be part of this club.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you. And we have a rendition of the Rotary Wheel that Secretary Linda passed out for your presentations today. Thank you. Most interesting for those programs and classification talks, and we're good today. So a couple of things before we leave. So we got an update here. We're texting back and forth. 299 tickets have been sold for Meals with Mission. So today was a good day. So continue to push those. And the reason we bring that up is, remember, noon next week, we will not be here. We're going to be down at TJ's. We hope to see you down there from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. There is the opportunity for carry out too. And you would want to either phone that in, or you come down and see one of the Rotarians, and we'll make sure that we go in and grab the meal for you. We can do that. We'll provide that service. Ron has a meeting right after here with Oak Hill Park and the tree project, and also make sure that you keep your eyes open for that flagpole, the solicitation that will be coming from Craig, myself, and Sandra Hall. Is there anything else for the good of the order today? If not, folks, have yourself a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday at Meals with a Mission. Take care.